Hello, this is Teacher Yolanda. Intentional Teaching Card LL23, Playing with Environmental Print, focuses on objectives, demonstrating knowledge of the alphabet, and knowledge of print and its uses. For this activity, we are going to be exploring print in our everyday life and becoming aware of our environment, like street signs, food labels, logos, letters of our name, and so on. Just like when you go to the store, you might see the letter T in Target and you might point it out. When working on this activity with your child, you're going to need items with print on them, such as magazines, cereal boxes, newspaper, grocery clippings, anything with letters on them, and pictures of store signs and street signs like a stop sign. To modify the activity, you can enlarge pictures if they're too small. So if there is a tiny stop sign in a magazine, you can make it bigger so that the child can really pay attention to the letters. You can highlight the first letter in a word. You can also have the child use manipulatives when introducing these new words. So if you have a word that starts with O, you can have them hold the letter O so that they can really understand that each letter is also associated with the letter that they're seeing. So let's get started. If I had a child here, I would set up this table with all the printed materials that we have talked about. I would let them explore and play and have fun with each item so that they can get familiarized themselves with the items that we're going to be talking about. I'm going to go through the items one by one with them and do something like this. What's this? Cheerios. Cheerios. Do you see this letter? C. Can you trace your finger on the letter C? And if they need support, guide their hand with over the letter C. And when they're tracing the letter C, you can make the sound k, k, k. C makes the sound k, k, k. My turn, k, k, k. Your turn, k, k, k. And if they're communicating with pointing or with manual signs, you can support them by doing the letter C when they're tracing. And if they're pointing to the letter when you can tell them, yes, that's the letter C. CH makes ch, ch, ch. Can you make the sound ch, ch, ch? Ch, ch, ch. And go through each letter that you find here. Then you have magazines. You can do the same thing. You can have them trace each letter just so that they can get familiarized with the letters of the alphabet. Then you can start saying each sound. S, s. My turn. S. Your turn. S. S is like the letter, like the word snake. Do you know another word that starts with S? And say another word that starts with S. You could also point to a picture and ask, what's this? Baby, and have the letter handy next to you. Baby starts with B. Baby. And have the child trace the letter and also say the sound. B, b. B makes the sound b, b, b. And have the child make the sound. My turn, b, b, b. Your turn, b, b, b. Or sign the letter B. Or even have the child point to the letter B. What is this letter? And if they point, then you can say, yeah, that's the letter B. You can have their name written down, and so that they can get familiarized with each letter in the name. So you can say, These are the letters in your name. Let's trace them. Y. That's the letter Y. O. That's the letter O. And then guide them with their finger so that they can point if they need some hand-over-hand support. Or they can sign the letters. Or what is this letter? And then they can go Y, or you can show them Y. Or if they point, you can say, yes, that's Y. We can also offer two choices, black and green. Can you find green? They point, yes, that's green. Or if they need support, guide their hand over green and say, yes, green makes the sound, starts with the sound G, G, G. Can you say G, G, G? And if they need support, you can sign this symbol G, G, G and show them with their hand G, G, G. And then say, let's find a letter in the magazine. Let's find G. And then look for one in the magazine. I have these letters here. This is a letter O. O. Give them the alphabet. This is O. Can you hold O? Trace O. O. And then maybe even put the letter on top of the letter. O. O. And you can do that with all the large printed letters that you have. We can continue this activity with all the printed materials on our desk so that children can start noticing that each printed word has a meaning, that each letter makes a sound. With environmental print, we begin to bridge the connection between letters and emergent reading. Children start noticing, hey, that's the letter in my first name, or they start pointing, going S, or doing the symbol S, manual sign S. So have fun talking about letters and words and print, and make games out of everything you do. When you go on a walk, or when you're driving, or when you're opening cereal boxes or packages, you can point out the letters so that children can start identifying the environmental print that they see every day. Thank you.